Hello, YouTubians! It's Mr. White Gloves here. I'm your host at Splash Page Comics, and welcome to the first episode of Alien History. That's right, I said it. I said Alien History. Been working on this for a while, and we've finally got the first premiere show going on tonight. So you're going to be seeing all sorts of cool stuff that I've been working on for like 3 months, and hopefully it will blow you away, just blow you away. And I got a co-host. That's right, I sure do. I got a co-host. Tell you what, he's a very uncanny dude, and you probably know him. And if you don't, well, let's get him introduced right here, right now. Hey!
How are you, man?
Doing good. Everybody, this is the Uncanny Kyle Walker from New Zealand. I'm sure a lot of y'all know him. I don't, if you don't, this is the dude over in New Zealand that has the massive 2000 AD and the Doctor Who and the massive X-Men collection, almost the full run, right?
That's right. I've got 3 books to go. And
3 books. 3 books. And then he's a big Judge Dredd fan also. He has stacks of these books, man. Stacks of these books. Yeah. So, Kyle, how's it been going over there in New Zealand?
Oh, it's going good. We're just winding down the end of our sort of summer and autumn now. You know, it's still getting summer weather. So,
we're starting into spring here, and you're going into winter, and your Christmas is in summer.
Yeah,
Christmas is in winter.
So we have a good old barbecue in the old summertime, and shorts and jandals. I don't know what you call jandals.
Jandals.
Yeah.
Sandals?
Sandals, yep.
Sandals or Jesus shoes?
Yep.
Jesus shoes?
We call them jandals.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can't wait for summer over here. And, we kind of tease each other. When it's summer over here and winter over there, I poke fun at him. And when it's summer over there and winter over there.
I was seeing the photo of eating seafood and barbecue. And
yeah, it just pisses me off because I do not like winter.
Well, one day you might be able to come over for a Christmas over in New Zealand.
That would be strange to have Christmas in the summer. I mean, it's not like we get snow here, but it's cold. You know, not real cold, but cold.
Because it would be weird for me to go to snow and wintry weather and at Christmas time. I'd be going, oh, this is weird.
Yeah. Well, I got Mr. Al Gore back here. He's going to be sitting in. He's going to be back in my co-pilot seat back here, making sure I don't mess up and tell any secrets about the aliens that he don't want me to let all y'all know. So, he may beam me out of here or something. I don't want that to happen.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, beam me up, Scotty. Beam me up, Scotty. Hey, all y'all people out there, we was talking about this earlier. Daylight savings time.
Yeah.
Kyle, tell us about that.
Oh, apparently a New Zealander invented daylight savings
back
in the 1800s.
Yep. Yeah. He did it for. He was what did I say? Entomologist.
Yeah.
And he wanted more light in the fall so he could study and catch more bugs.
See, we're smart over this side of the world.
That's just crazy. He says, I got to figure out a way. I got to catch more bugs. So I'm going to make daylight savings time. So that is just freaky. So we're going to go to the chat right here. And let's see. We got Sanimation. Good morning. That's right. It's
good morning.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning over there. My goodness, girl, what are you doing up so early?
It's 5 p.m. here.
I think it's 5 o'clock in the morning where she's at in the Netherlands.
Oh,
nice. She's from the Netherlands. We got Comic Book G-Spot, Mr. Robert Galvin, my brother.
Mr. G, how are you?
And I want to let everybody know that after the show, don't go to Robert's channel. Go to the Cantonese Comic Kid because that's where we're having the Nerdy Collective tonight. Go to the Cantonese Comic Kid's channel. That's where the Nerdy Collective is going to be held tonight, and I have no idea what's going to go on, but I'll be there.
I see Boston Chris,
Yep, there's
formerly known as
Chris.
Buckshot.
Yep, Buckshot. Yeah. Boston. He used to be Buckshot, but he changed a long time ago. Changed it to Boston Chris. 5 a.m. indeed. Yep, she said 5 a.m. Yeah, Chris, thanks for showing up. And he's another guy that we've known. Me and Kyle have known forever. I mean, long time.
That's right.
And we got Tat Comics.
We got
Look
Tat.
at you two.
How are you, buddy? Good friend of mine, Tat's Comics.
Yes, he is. He's one of these YouTubers that's been around for quite a while.
Yeah, another old school guy from the comic book community.
So I tell you what, should we get this show started?
Let's do it.
All right. Okay, what we're going to be talking about first, we're going to go into a little bit of history. The show, you've probably seen it, it's about the Watchers. And we're going to go into some history about the Watchers in comic books. And then it's an open discussion. Anyone wants to talk and everything and ask questions and all this when we get to the next topic. That's when all the interesting stuff stays in. But we got to keep with the comic theme. And we've got to talk about the Watchers in the comic books. And me and Kyle's going to sit there and discuss some stuff here. Let's see here if I can add this to the stream. All right. First off, right. Whoa. It's carrying away. No, don't do that. Back her up. There we go. All right. We got the Watchers. Enter the Watchers. Their first appearance was FF13, April 1963. And this story was their first appearance, but didn't tell the origin. And Kyle, you got something interesting to say about the Watchers on an episode.
I've got a feeling. I'm just guessing here, but
okay.
We were talking about it earlier on. But the pilot to Star Trek, the Cage. It's got some characters that look very much like the Watchers in it.
That's what you were saying. You think Gene Roddenberry read FF13? And
I'd say so, because this predates the Cage.
And the Cage was what we figured around
about 1964, 1965.
Yeah.
So just
kind of borrowed a little bit off the script of FF13 in a way, huh?
Yeah.
Either that or Stan Lee, I think him being of the Jewish faith, he might have had something to do with, he knew something about the Book of Enoch too, where the Watchers were, well, the story was told. Well, we'll get into that a little bit deeper. But in 1963, guys, if you go back to that date, the United States was in a space race with the Soviet Union, and they were trying to get to the moon. And this book they kind of threw modern times in this book. And the Red Ghost and the Fantastic Four were in race to the moon to get, I can't remember, I think it was some kind of a meteorite or something. And they were in the race with Red Ghost and the Super Apes to get there. And when they got there, they met up with Red Ghost, and they start the Super Apes come after them. They start fighting and stuff. So as they were fighting and all this and that, that's when the Watchers, came out, and the Thing and the Red Ghost and the Super Apes are all battling up and everything and getting into each other's face. And the Watchers stopped the fight to explain to them that you know what I mean, Kyle? You're on my planet now. we ain't gonna have this. Y'all need to just get off the moon if y'all gonna cause trouble and everything.
That's right.
You just can't be doing this up here. And the Watcher explains his purpose, which he was they're there to watch and not interfere, but he kind of interfered when he stopped the fight. And we've seen that before, haven't we, Kyle? Where the Watchers seem to they do that quite a bit, over from 63 to 2021. They've interfered quite a bit. But so what he does is he takes them back to this abandoned city, and the fight resumes in an old ruined city and such, where the blue-eyed Thing keeps fighting and they eventually, call it a draw. But if we want to go back into comics, the origin of the Watcher is told in Tales of Suspense number 54. And, Kyle, do you think Stan Lee kind of seen this come up with these Watchers originally, or you think he kind of borrowed something from some text? And
he probably borrowed some bits and pieces from the text, and added a bit of science fiction to it, and then there you go.
Yeah,
you get beings. That was his mind.
Because the original Watchers. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And then Jack Kirby saw the vision of it, the visuals of it, and drew it the way it should be.
He just didn't put wings on the Watchers, did he?
No. I could just imagine both of those genius minds just, back in the day coming up with,
Well, so I think Stan Lee, they were the original Watchers were the Fallen 200, and or the angels that come upon the earth, and they were told not to interfere with the humans that were on Earth at the time, and that's kind of what the Watchers are told to do is just watch and not interfere. And the origin of the Watchers, they were getting treatment for something. I couldn't ever figure out exactly what they was getting treatment for, but it turned them into energy. And in the alien history, they talk about the Watchers being so bright that you couldn't stare at them. They were like energy. And that's kind of what the origin story is. They were turned into energy, and they could zip across universes and go anywhere they wanted, super fast.
Right.
So that kind of plays into the Book of Enoch, and the Testament to where they say that their eyes were bright and their skin was glowing, and it was hard to stare at them, right, and stuff. So that kind of continues in the origin story with this, and they went out, and this is sort of like the newer Star Trek now. They went out, and I think there was an episode of Next Generation that they went out, and they were the prime directive, and they were not to interfere, but they interfered.
Right.
And the planet got into a war and stuff like that, and ended up destroying itself.
Right.
So, and that's exactly what, they did. They went out, then they vowed, that they gave that planet a bunch of tech, and they used it for war. And the Watchers vowed not to interfere no more, and they were doomed to watch and do nothing anymore. And we know that they went ahead and did anyway. So let's see here. All right. Okay, we're going to stop right there, and we're going to play a trailer right quick.
Okay.
Not that trailer. I told you I was going to screw up. Before we do that, we're going to go over here. We're going to go to the channel. I told you it would happen. Okay, we got Hydra Comic. You was robbed last night, fam, and X-Men book is overrated.
What X-Men book is that?
I think he's talking about he's talking about Chris. He was on the Tony Sanders show.
Oh, yeah.
So we got Hell Hydra.
Queen G.
Queen G. That's Mrs. G. That's
Mrs. G. How are you?
Hello, Mrs. G. All right, we got and she's have to show my support, man. We appreciate that.
Okay. Yep.
So now we're going to get in to the next segment. Maybe I can push the right button now. So here we go. Come on. Okay, the next segment we're going to get into is the Book of Enoch. Okay, Enoch was summoned to the heaven and was told there was going to be this massive cataclysm upon the earth. Is this story told any different over there in New Zealand, or do y'all have a end of the like a flood story over there or anything such?
No, it's pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And was told that the creator was angry and because the fallen, the watchers were mating with the women and everything, and let me see if this I think this skipped way too far. Let's see right here. All right, angels 200. All right, it skipped too far. All right, the angels from heaven were 200 strong. The creator put on earth to watch over us. All right, they broke the creator's rules, and the rules were you was just to watch, and you weren't to interfere at all. But they come smitten, and they ended up giving knowledge to humans. Now, do we think these people were maybe misrepresented as aliens? What do you think, Kyle?
Yeah, it might have been.
I mean, we got these beings ascended from Earth way back in olden times, and they're shiny as light, and they have all this knowledge and all this tech, and they're told not to give it away, but way back then, all these people are sitting there and they're seeing this.
They could have come from another planet.
I mean, do you go ahead?
Well, you got to ask a question about the pyramids. I mean, stuff like the Egyptians.
Yeah,
how they were built.
They're still trying to figure out how they made the pyramids. They got theories out there.
Yeah,
they got theories of how they moved all those blocks and stuff.
That's
but
right.
It's those are some big rocks that they moved, and I think they were given advanced knowledge and they built all that. I think the pyramids are older than what they seem.
We've got Sleepy Reader in the chat.
Yeah. Hey, Sleepy Reader. Yeah, I think the pyramids are a lot older, and they were built by another a race outside this world, and I think they were there to house. They knew that the world was going to end because the creator was going to wipe it out, and they're thousands and thousands of years. They were probably on Earth, and they knew this before it was actually wiped out.
Right.
And the alien history, the way it's put is they built the pyramids and all these other pyramids around the world to house knowledge and store them for the Great Flood and everything.
Yeah.
And we just haven't found the knowledge inside the pyramids as of yet. So, but getting back to the text here, it says had offspring with human women. That's what created the giants. And
right. Yeah.
The giants, they say, had ruled the earth or were over the earth for thousands of years before they were destroyed. And you look at some of these. Do y'all have like ancient structures over there in New Zealand and stuff like that, or
not or really? We're too young a country.
Too young country. But if you go across into the Polynesian area, they got all sorts of temples and stuff like that.
Well, yeah. What Rapa Nui, is it the Rapa Nui Islands? Is it? They got those statues there of the heads on blocks, right?
Oh yeah.
And they're Polynesian.
And they probably huge statues, some of them.
Yeah. Yeah, and to be fair, a lot of my ancestors, Māori ancestors' carvings are very sort of like that too. You got taniwhas with tongues sticking out, and they look very alien-like in some of the designs.
Yeah.
Sometimes, so there could be something in there.
Well, you know, like I said, 200. There were 200 watchers sent upon the earth, and they probably scattered
Right.
all across the earth.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that, you know, when they broke their golden rule and they went ahead and started messing and giving people influence, I think it was they gave them a knowledge of the stars,
Yeah.
knowledge of what we call now witchcraft or sorcery, and
Right.
they gave them knowledge of medicine. And that's what really ticked everybody, the creator, off, because they weren't supposed to have this. You know.
I've got a theory for you. Do you
Okay.
think the watchers that we're talking about right now, do you think they're future humans that found that were time travelers and went back in time and kick-started the human race?
See, that's been a theory that's been out there quite a bit about, you know, the time travel. There's been a big theory that the aliens we're seeing now are really us 10,000 years in the future, and they're coming back trying to change things because things ain't so good in the future. So they're trying to, you know, kind of change things up to where it makes their future better. And, you know, we've all watched.
So it's sort of like a paradox, if that was true. We created our own destiny by going back in time.
We're kind of going in circles, aren't we?
Yeah, that's right. It's a paradox.
Oh, wow, man. Yeah. I mean, are we doomed to, you know, get 10,000 years in the future and all of a sudden we're back to where we started again? Then we go through and then we're back to where we started. Oh, that's like Groundhog Day. Keep living the same million years over and over and over and over. That's oh, that blows my mind. You know.
Yeah, well, it just popped in my head just before, so I just thought I'd better mention that about the time traveling.
Well, see, after the giants, they were born and they started, you know, getting huge.
Yeah.
All right. You see over in these pyramids, you see in South America, Central America, Egypt, India, China, whenever they let you in to see certain things over there, and some of the Polynesian countries and Easter Island, you see these huge doors. I mean, everything is huge. You know, a man will be about that tall, and the door is like another 15 foot, you know, tall. I mean, wouldn't it make sense if these giants were roaming the earth and they seated themselves as rulers and you know, that they would have these huge palaces? Because you see a lot of the stuff in the Greek mythology, the buildings over in Europe and stuff that were huge.
They
everything was.
They built things in a grand style. It had to be, you know, grander than anything else. Well, their statues, their buildings, their obelisks, or whatever they're called, you know, everything had to be huge. So they needed help building some of that stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, plus the giants couldn't duck their head every time they walked in a door either, you know.
That's right.
I mean, they could, those big archways and stuff like that could have been, you know, part of the architecture to for them to gain access and to be in there. Let's go to the chat here. We got a question right here. This is a big old long question. Ooh, I can't see this. It says, wasn't the pyramid triangle supposed to represent the Holy Trinity, but the opposite, as they do everything reversed, like Hebrew is written right to left, but language is left to right?
Oh, is it?
Huh. Yeah.
It probably is, yeah. I don't know.
Don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question, Animation.
And then, you know, Sleepy Reader go see as it sounds like Jack Kirby's external, you know, and Celestials. Yeah. And the other one is, what about Stonehenge? You know.
Oh yeah,
that's another mystery that they're still, you know, they still don't know the full background to that, and how, you know.
Right. Yeah, you can have a show in itself on Stonehenge. I mean, it was there. They're not. They think they got pinpointed when it was built, but
Yeah.
It's not exactly 100% bona fide that's when it was built. I mean, I think it's older than what they're saying, but they have a part in the history that they can't explain.
Don't they reckon there's several of them around? There's another one just down the road from that one, which they think was another one, and it used to be bigger, and there's stuff buried underneath, but they don't want to.
Well, there was one in South America that they had found. That is on the what do you call those? The Nagasca lines.
Oh yeah.
There's a circle that's into the side of the hill where it's all put out in a certain pattern and everything. Also, that they had found years ago. But I'd seen an episode, something on that on TV quite a while back, and they just haven't showed much of it and everything. That's that's another thing. The coincidences around the earth. I mean, they're building pyramids in Egypt and all over the world, India, Japan, not Japan, China, Egypt, and
the Incas,
the Incas, the Mayas, the Mayans. I mean, where do they get all this idea to build the same kind of buildings? Could it be that group of 200 that, all of the same race that is got the same knowledge and going across the world, the Watchers going around and giving these people the information to build this stuff like this?
It could be. Could have been.
Yeah. I mean, it all seems to be all done virtually the same. Everyone has a different slight architectural difference when they build these as far as taste, but the structure itself is relatively the same. That puts some thought out there that wow, that's just crazy. So, but getting back to the giants, they ended up they were big, they were huge, and they were going all over the earth, and they were consuming. The humans were basically their slaves. And they were spending all their time building this stuff and doing what they say and trying to feed them. And you had an appetite of a person that could be 20, 25 foot tall. Some of it says so many eels high, and they ended up, the older they got, they ended up getting angry, very angry. And they were just ticked off. And the creator was seeing that as the giants were getting older and they were populating the earth, they were consuming the earth. I mean, they were eating everything. And finally, they came to a point to where they just become angry and they started eating people. That's why you see those Sinbad movies, and the Cyclops is always after the guy and he eats them. And, it's just some of the stuff that was...
Is that Jason and the Argonauts?
Jason and the Argonauts and stuff like that. I mean, they just had to come to a time to where they were eating people. Let's see. We got Tat says, well, he's got to go.
All
okay,
right,
Tat.
Good to see you.
Thanks for coming by. Set 1 hour ahead. Yep, that's new. I'm going to start calling it New Zealand time now instead of
you guys are a day behind me.
Yeah, we're a day behind. Kyle's in the future.
I might be an alien. You just don't know.
I have no idea. Now let's go to the next slide here. What we got, and this is a picture of Enoch. Enoch was one of the early prophets. That was he had a book that it's out of most of the Bibles and everything. Right. And if you want to go in and read that, you can pull it up online, the Book of Enoch, and it explains all this stuff about the they call them the Nephilim.
Right.
And those are the giants. It explains a lot about that, and talks about how he was summoned and told that the end was coming, and he went and told the giants, and it just, like I said, it wasn't something that he told them, then the next day it happened. Of course, Noah put all the animals and stuff on the ark and stuff like that, and
right, yeah.
It's hard to imagine that two of every species in the world fit on an ark that small.
Yeah.
What do you think about the alien theory of it being DNA samples?
It could have been. It could have been a spaceship.
Yeah.
No, Ark.
Yeah. It could have really just been a boat, but they took DNA samples and that boat would be, the right size for DNA of everything, in the world. And they just went around the world and collected all that, or somebody did, or they had the creator did it, with a snap of a finger or something, or some kind of technology that we didn't have. But what's that?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it could have been.
So,
totally.
Well, y'all guys out there in the audience, y'all got any questions or got any theories? Shoot them out.
Yeah.
We're gonna sit here and we're gonna sure read what you say and everything.
Absolutely.
If you got any, because this is an open chat and y'all get involved and we will
interact with us.
So the watchers.
And then you've got to talk about the Atlanteans, Atlantis. What were they? The lost city of Atlantis.
That's a whole nother tie into Submariner.
Submariner,
yeah, that's a tie into Submariner, and that will be coming shortly.
Yeah,
when we tie Submariner into Atlantis and such. Sanimation says the Ark was supposed to be in Turkey. Some big structure in stone or something that looks like a ship. Yes, I've seen that on TV. And the strange thing they said about that there was, it ain't just now that's been found. They said there's thousands of grave sites around that. And people want to be buried there next to the Ark. And said some of these sites are hundreds of years old. So
that's right.
It wasn't just found in the last 50 years or something like that. The people that lived around there has been thinking this for a long time, or they wouldn't go out to be buried.
And the thing is, right, modern technology now. I was watching a documentary that was filmed last year in Egypt. The technology has gotten so good with the archaeology that they're finding more stuff. So it's a matter of time, Splash, before they start finding, alien evidence, maybe.
Well, they got the satellites now where you can go on Google Earth and you can look at the structures. And I've done this. I've taken Google Earth and went over to Egypt.
Yeah.
And I've looked in the sand and you can see outlines of pyramids under the sand that they haven't even started to uncover yet.
Yeah.
I mean, they think there's thousands of more pyramids under that sand than what there is.
Apparently there's another Sphinx. There was one at the front and one at the back. So they haven't found the other one. They believe that's how it was. So that'll be it's a matter of time, I reckon. It's a matter of time.
Speaking of the Sphinx, they had said that it was covered up by sand all the way up to its nose or something like that. And I heard, I don't know if this is true, but I've always heard that the nose was shot off by Napoleon.
Yeah,
when he went over to Egypt. That's what I've heard of.
Yeah, apparently that is correct. It was lost for a wee while too, wasn't it?
Thousands of years it was completely buried.
Yeah, they knew where it was. They just didn't. No one had looked for it, and then they did.
They were trying to date the pyramid, and after they got it all, or not the pyramid, the Sphinx, and after they got it all uncovered, they were looking at the erosion marks on it and said, "Oh yeah, this is sand erosion, like sandblasting over the years and everything." They eroded it down, and they had a scientist go over there, and he started looking at it, and he says, "No, that's not sand marks. That's water."
Yeah.
So that's erosion with water.
Yeah.
And you're looking at one of the driest places on Earth, and the last time it had water there was 10, 15,000 years ago.
Right, yeah.
And you got people 10, 15,000 years ago that's building a Sphinx and pyramids and stuff like that back then. with sticks and levers.
I can't remember what pharaoh its face it's got, but they reckon it predates him. He just put that face on it to look like him,
Right?
But it predates him even. So
would it be Khufu or?
Yeah, I think it is. I think you might be right. Yeah, but I think it predates him. They think because he just put that face on it. It was more a lion before that, and then he just put because that's what they did, the pharaohs.
Well, Sanimation said there's probably more underground stuff in Egypt. They still worship some of the gods there. Some documentaries where you had to say the god's name and praise it before you entered some pyramid. Yes.
Yeah.
They even had curses on those tombs.
Yeah.
I mean, they had curses on the tombs. They wanted to keep the tomb robbers out.
We still are like that over here with a lot of our stuff. Like you don't dig up our stuff over here.
Well, yeah, we're like that over here also. I mean, but
with the Mary carvings and that, well, there's a lot of archaeology at our old Marai site, past site, we call it, and not allowed to dig it up. It's just not the thing you do, and it's got curses on it, and it's just not,
This is a little off subject and everything, but I've always wondered, 10,000 years from now, all these cemeteries we have around the world, are they going to be digging up these coffins 10,000 years from now, saying, "Ooh, look at these people and everything that's been buried in there," because that's going to be kind of wrong. But it's not wrong for us to go over there and dig these other people up. And we're doing it.
It will depend on if there's any relevance, and you know what I mean.
There could be another blank spot in time, and then everything starts over again. Then they come up and they're digging us up 10, 15,000 years later.
I feel that we're heading down that path right now at the moment with things a wee bit. I mean, I don't know, just
yeah. But we'll see. Anyway, back to what we got right here. We got Enoch, and like I said, that you need to go read that and get into that. Yeah. And I'm not this is not to change your faith or you believe or not believe. This is for fun. And if
that's right, we're having a discussion with comics and texts and all that. So
aliens and we're not trying to change some people's religion. You believe what you believe, and that's your right to believe in what you believe in. And this is fun to talk about.
That's right, Splash. I'm not a religious person, Splash. I've told Splash that before.
Yeah.
So
See, I am a religious person. I'm a Christian, but I still like imagining this.
That's right.
And if there are alien beings out there, that doesn't mean that the creator didn't create them, but they're still and Kyle believes this too, and what he believes in. We've talked about this before, that there is something out there that created everything.
That's right.
And it's like a pyramid. It starts at the top, the main creator, and just works down. I think there is a lot of something out there. We're just being told that there's nothing out there. I mean, could we be that blatantly nose stuck up in the air, thinking out of the trillions and billions and the biggest number you can think of planets out there, that we're the only intelligent life? I mean, has the Bible been written a billion different planets put on or the belief, not just the Bible, but belief on a billion different planets, the way everything was created? But it all goes back to one focal point, that the creator created it all. It's kind of blows your mind.
As long as it's not Galactus that finds it, we're all right.
Yeah, see, Galactus is the one that comes and eats all the planets. He comes and eats them.
He could be our downfall.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, sometimes I wish he would have, but oh man, I tell you, that's something else. So let's get move along and see what we got. The next slide here. That's going to be the ending of the slide right there. Let me go back to How do I do this? Boom. There we go. There we go.
Hello.
There we go. we're all big. Sanimation, I hope there's a better version of men or another planet
yeah.
like What If Planet. I hope there's a better version of me. Oh, me. I thought you said men. I fixed to say.
I actually enjoy. I used to love reading what and the Watchers that tells you the tale of the what ifs. They're pretty cool. And then he was connected to the Dark Phoenix saga too, and it's very cool stuff.
Yeah, the what if series. I've always enjoyed that. I like the volume one. I've been working on that volume. I've like very few books, but to complete that run. But
I've got a good wee stack of them. I mean, I'm looking forward to the what if TV show that's coming out soon.
We've been hearing about that TV show, but I haven't heard nothing in a while. I mean, they put out WandaVision, and now they're coming out with Falcon.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, so it's on a schedule. So they're dropping one show at a time, and then I think the first what if will be Marvel Zombies, I believe. So that'll be cool.
The zombies have gotten real popular. They were popular years ago, then they faded out, and now the Walking Dead has brought them back. And
before that it was vampires.
Then the monsters, the monster stuff back in the 50s, and that's good stuff to collect.
Yeah, the Universal monster stuff is real cool. Yeah.
But getting back to the alien part, the Watchers, they ended up getting destroyed by the flood. Well, the Watchers didn't, but the Giants did. But there's some theories that some of the Giants ended up living, but all the Watchers were cast onto Earth not to leave, which that's where you get the fallen angels from.
Right.
And they were cast to stay on this Earth for eternity in a fiery pit. And that's where Satan, Beelzebub, and he was one of the ones, and one of the leaders. There was like 3 leaders of the 200, and Satan was one of them. And he was cast upon the rest to live here. And I think that they may still have influence on this earth. They may still walk upon it.
Absolutely.
They're ticked off at the creator, and he left, and he's going to return.
Yeah.
And it's either going to be the creator or the another alien race, one of the two. I mean,
as long as it's not the Borg, we'll be all right.
The Borg. Yeah. A simulation. We get it simulated. Well, Kyle, you wanted to talk about some stuff earlier.
Yeah, well, you were talking about aliens and, what influenced me when I was younger about aliens sort of titles. I mean, for me, I was right into the alien worlds and alien sort of things like, the alien movies when I was a little kid with Ripley and the aliens and Predator. And then my comic books was very alien science fiction orientated comic book that I got into, which was 2000 AD. And it had a lot of aliens, and the editor for the comic was an alien called Tharg.
Wow.
Yeah. And so whoever the editor at the time of the comic, and it's still, they have Tharg the Almighty. That's what he calls himself. And he's the editor of that comic. And once upon a time, Grant Morrison was the Tharg of the comic book.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So, and like Dan Deere was a space story about a pilot who would fight aliens, a green alien with a big round head like the Watcher called the Mekon, and he rode around on a saucer dish, and there was a lot of characters I got into. There was Strontium Dog, and he was a mutant alien with eyes that he'd read people's minds, and they were bounty hunters, and they were all aliens, and they'd hunt other people. And so I've got a big influence when it comes to alien storytelling, when it comes to my history when I was younger, reading comic books and that.
Yeah, there's a vast amount of theories out there. I mean, what
Yeah,
the stuff that is found on Earth, and it's found and it's almost duplicated clear across the Earth,
yeah,
and done almost perfectly duplicated. And those people in those countries, shouldn't have ever been in contact with each other for thousands of years.
yeah,
And look at the stuff that's under the ocean. During the last ice age, and ever the ice receded and the ocean come up like 600 foot or whatever it was. I mean, but they have found off the coast of Cuba that they have noticed that there is like pyramids on the ocean floor off the coast of Cuba.
yeah.
And that wasn't, at one time, that wasn't underwater. And, can you imagine if we could take something down there? I think it's too close to Cuba for them to get permission to get into, to get, a good submarine down there and do an exploration. The pictures that they did have were, you could make out that it was something under there. But could you imagine these cities that were lost 10, 15, 20,000 years ago, and they had technology? Because look at the pyramids. They had they got the Baghdad battery. So that shows they had electricity back then.
Yeah. And you're right. I mean, and look, if you look at the ancient wonders of the world too, I've watched a documentary on them recently, and they're pretty amazing how they were built.
Oh yeah.
The big statue of the big guy with the thing, how was he built?
Are you talking about the what was it? The one that come into the port, Olympus?
Yeah.
The light tower that they had the lighthouse that ended up falling in the ocean. Yeah.
Yep.
I can't remember what port that was, but they used him as a lighthouse, a big statue.
Yep.
So that was pretty cool and everything. That was something else.
They're talking about rebuilding that.
Oh,
they're talking about rebuild. I'd like that.
Yeah. That would be something that, we could never rebuild it the way it was done. They said we don't have the technology.
The Colossus at Rhodes, that's pretty
Colossus, cool. Yeah.
The only thing that still exists out of all of those is the pyramids.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. There's still bricks from one of them that still exist. There's bricks that were used, but one of them's in the sea, But
well, they got some top stones from the pyramids that are over there in a museum, and you really don't hear much about those on the news. There's a documentary, a little short smidget that talked about the top stone, and there's a lot of top stones that they have in the museum and stuff over there that's supposed to have been the top stone, and a lot of people think that the whole top stone was gold, but they're thinking that it was stone, but it was covered in gold.
Yeah.
And they have the top stone, but they don't have the gold. The gold was taken off.
Chris is right. You were talking about the lighthouse in Alexandria.
Yeah. There's pieces of that that is on the floor, the ocean floor.
Yeah, they believe it's there. It's just on the floor, But
there's a whole city, the city of Alexandria, the existing city that's there now, like 200, 300 feet below it. They say Alexandria, they built over it over the centuries. But as you go out into the ocean, you can see statues and stuff just laying underwater. I mean, they were bringing them up, and they have a museum. It's not called Alexandria now. They renamed it because of modern times. I can't remember.
Yeah,
you remember what it was?
Yeah. And then the Gardens of Babylon, they don't quite know where that is. Cheers, Robert.
Yes, I see. Thank you.
Where the Gardens of Babylon are, really, do they? They haven't really proven yet where they are.
Yeah, Sanimation's right. Worshiping the people to worship. I mean, that's why it all collapsed. That was all part of the flood. And I think the flood and the ice age just scraped it out to sea and flooded it even more.
And then what's under the Antarctic?
Oh man, I got a lot of theories on that.
Oh,
I got a lot. I mean, that goes. I mean, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do a show on that.
yeah,
We some of our upcoming shows. One of them is going to be the Hollow Moon theory,
yeah,
and then what's under the Antarctic,
yeah.
and then we're gonna get into the Anunnaki and the purse. And I'll just leave that with y'all. It's called the purse.
Yeah.
And that's going to be real strange when you start seeing these pictures that I put up of all these artifacts all over the world. And this strange purse keeps showing up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's depicted in all these countries the same. It's
And
crazy.
and then I'm a big Doctor Who fan. We talk about aliens. That's the biggest alien show. I mean, the Time Lords are beings from another galaxy with shape-shifting ability and can travel through time and are super intelligent.
Now, the Doctor Who, did they? I know they had to have different writers to write all that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I mean, who was the biggest writer that wrote that series for the longest?
So the biggest writer is Terrence Dicks. He basically went around the second Doctor era. He started to create the blueprint for the rest of Doctor Who as we know it. Mm-hmm. He brought in the Time Lords. He brought in the Master. He brought in the Doctor being able to change his. So they sort of did that with the first, the second, but they never really explained it until he came along and wrote. Him and Robert Holmes and Barry Letts. They sort of put you into the blueprint, and then the fourth Doctor was where they really started to establish the whole Doctor Who mythos, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how many years did he write that?
Terrence Dicks wrote from probably the late 60s. I think he started writing around the late 60s to the into the 80s. I think he wrote the 5 Doctors in the 80s, and then he wrote a lot of the books afterwards. You know, there's a pile of novels. And so, yeah, he was the go-to guy for Doctor Who for a while. Terry Nation's another guy that sort of had a lot to do with what shaped it, because he created the Daleks, and so he shaped the whole, you know, thing around that. And Tom Baker had a lot to do with it. The Doctors, the actors themselves, had a bit of creative control as well, and sort of created that character a lot themselves as well, you know.
So that guy was basically the Stan Lee of Doctor Who.
Terrence Dicks is, I would say so, yes. For me, he is. Him and Barry Letts are, because they created a whole unit era with the army and the aliens invading Earth and stuff like that period of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's I mean, that's a vivid imagination to come up with 30 years of that stuff. I mean, that's and I know, I'm sure that he's come up with stuff that he's read in mythology and in ancient books and texts.
And then Terrence Dicks left and Philip Hitchcliffe come in, and he was a horror guy. So he brought in scary aliens, not just aliens, but they were scary. And the fourth Doctor, for about 3 seasons, he was the writer, the controller of Doctor Who, and he wanted it to be very scary, and aliens to be scary. And
I like the ones with the statues. When you didn't look at them, they moved, but when you looked at them,
the Weeping Angels, yeah.
Then when you looked at them, they didn't move.
Yeah,
or there's something you didn't do, or blink. You die.
Yeah, you blink, and that suck your energy back into the past.
Yeah.
And hello, Johnny Torch.
Johnny Torch, I'll be darned. This guy right here. Robert, if you're in the channel, Johnny, I'm going to tell you right now, we need to get you on the Nerdy Collective. I want to talk to you and get you out there. We need to talk. You can hit me up on Instagram, Splash Page Comics, all one word, and follow me on Instagram. I've been wanting to get you to see if you get on the Nerdy Collective. We do an interview, because I have watched your stuff for a long time, Johnny, and I appreciate you coming to the live show. That is cool.
Yeah, that is real cool.
Yeah, we need a lot more people need to know who this guy is.
Can I just ask in the chat, Splash?
Yeah.
You're frozen from my end.
Uh-oh.
I was
What
just asking,
happened?
can you? Is it me or is it him?
It's me.
It's you.
Yeah. Let me see.
No.
Oh man, really? Hang on. Let me go on my settings.
It might be me.
No, it's me.
Yeah, Splash is frozen. Yep. Okay.
Okay, let's see if I'm back now. Now I can't get a camera at all. I'll be darned. You know, if it's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong.
No, you're good now. You're good now.
Oh. Okay. Well.
No, you froze again. Oh, there you are.
Oh, yeah. It went.
No, you've gone. So I'm now the host of the show. So what would you like me to ask me some questions? So speaking of aliens, while he's sorting his computer out, I'll show you my big Dalek I've got. The Master Race. And speaking of aliens, we've got a Cylon and an alien. So there you go. He has been taken by aliens. To be honest, he has. He's been kidnapped. He's joined the Watchers. So, just a wee background on me while he's away. I collect the Uncanny X-Men, and I have just about completed Volume 1 of the Uncanny X-Men run. I also collect UK comics. I've got a big UK comic collection. Oh, here he is.
All right, I'm back. I don't know what's going on. Well, I lost all my other videos. They're gone now.
I think I scared all our guests, our chat away. I was all right.
Yeah, Al Gore. I was about to reveal something secret, and Al Gore kicked me off and told me, I shouldn't be saying that. So, okay, I got your hint. I won't say it no more.
We thought the aliens had got you.
Yeah, come beam me up and everything. So, well, that's been about an hour, Kyle. I mean, I had some outro video, but it's gone now. Apparently,
that's so good.
Yeah, I spent all that time on outro video, and it disappears now. So,
next week it'll be good as gold, man. It's I'll tell you what. It's been a good show. I think so.
There it is, right there. Oh, yeah. I'll just use that one right there whenever we go out. So
no, they want more.
No, they want more. Wait, this is it. Well, we can sit here. What we need more participation from the chat.
Yeah, we're waiting for questions.
So we were, and something that come over the news here not too long ago was getting back to the pyramids. They have found a chamber in the upper part of one of the Great Pyramid. That is I think they said 60 feet long by 40 or 40 foot wide. I mean, it's a pretty good sized chamber that they have found inside the Great Pyramid. And could that be they were storing scrolls and stuff in there because they knew the flood was going to happen? Because I think the pyramids were there. It was built to withstand the flood. I mean, I really think that. Yeah. I think it was around during the flood.
I've always been fascinated by Egypt and the Egyptians, and they're amazing builders. And, if they had help from up above, I've always been interested in that. And the other thing that people don't talk about is they're great tunnel builders. They were the first, were they, at building tunnels, and they've made amazing tunnels, like under all of their, you know.
Yeah, well, look at the Valley of the Tombs.
Yeah,
How many
exactly.
tombs they had? I mean, massive amount, and they still think there's a whole nother section that
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
that they haven't even begin to dig out yet, because
and
there's so much political stuff going on in Egypt that
oh,
you just
there is,
can't go
but
over there and dig.
you
I mean, it
can't. But
takes years to get a permit. Then you get a permit for so many weeks, and they cut you off.
yeah, and but watching this documentary recently, the technology they've got now, they've got wee cameras they stick into the ground now. You know, they don't have to go in
Yeah.
this before, and it can get further in.
Well, they had the belief that the pyramids were used as a energy source, a power plant,
Yeah,
and they could have water under the bottom, and as it goes in and out the Nile, it makes a pressure pump,
yeah,
and then they fill gases in there, and it rises to the top and it shoots microwaves or something out the top. Because that theory has been proven with Tesla. Tesla did it. He made this big tower and put these rods in the ground and everything, and had this big tower. And he went like a mile away, and he drove these stakes in the ground and screwed light bulbs into them, and the light bulbs turned on.
Tesla.
You know,
Yeah, that's right.
He proved that theory that you can transmit power from one point to another, and without electrical lines.
It's funny you mention his name. He was actually in an episode of Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Last season. It was really good too. Yeah, they used him.
See, if you want to test that theory, theory of transporting electricity just across, you can take, those little globes that have electricity lightning things on them. I can't remember what they're called. But you put your hands on them and you move your hands around, and electricity
static balls or whatever they're called. You know?
Yeah, they're called something. I can't remember what it is. You take one of those and get you one of those little fluorescent tube light bulbs. They're about like that.
Yep.
And you put it next to there. That fluorescent tube will start lighting up.
Okay.
That's what Tesla did. He built this huge ball in Colorado and everything. And he's transmitting that daggum electricity all the way to those light bulbs, however many miles away. That's what he was doing. But you can do that scientific experiment through that bulb, and just hold one of them little fluorescent lights there, and you'll see it light up, and you can get it probably 3 or 4 or 5 inches away from the ball, and the static electricity will lighten it up. It'll blink.
Right. Yeah.
It is Centimations. Let me highlight this. I keep forgetting I can highlight. It says it's supposed to represent everything, not wholly for sure. There is some weird stuff in there. No wonder the celebrities like to visit it.
Egypt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to go to Egypt. I would love to go through that stuff.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll leave New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 2 things I hate in Egypt. That's snakes and spiders.
My best mate, Bob's been to Egypt. He said it was amazing.
Oh, I imagine. And they got those big ass. I don't know what they're called. They're sand spider, desert spider. I mean, they're they're huge. I mean, they say they ain't poisonous, but yeah, you gonna see.
That's one thing. I'd be a bit nervous about that sort of stuff, because where I live, we don't have anything dangerous that will kill us, or the only thing that's dangerous is other humans over here. We don't have any animals or insects that will kill you here.
You want to see a fat guy run across sand, you put a spider or a daggum cobra, and I'm gonna be running like crazy. I'd be killing myself trying to get away from that. That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna happen. But yeah, there's some weird stuff over there, and we're just waiting for either the government to release the information they have, or them to make their presence known. And the government says, well, we're not ready for it. It would cause the collapse of the whole belief in Christian, Indian, Islamic, and all that faith if their aliens just popped up. Well, no, not really, because somebody had to create them. The faith would go on. but they would sure be able to open our eyes about what else is out there, because I believe there's a whole lot out there, and we're just kept as an ignorant planet over here because we're afraid. They're afraid that if they rush into this and everybody finds out, that we'll end up just going batshit crazy and killing ourselves and everything.
Right. Yeah.
What let me ask you this, Kyle. Do you think there's good aliens and bad aliens? Because, that seems to be, there's good and bad in this world. Do you think there's aliens out there that want to fill us in?
Yeah, I'd say there is. I'd say it's a bit like the Satan and God, you know what I mean? I'd say, it's probably the same, you know?
Because Al Gore says the reptilians aren't good. So the Greys are So the reptilians are bad, but the Greys are good, And
speaking of reptilians, V, hey, that was a good TV show back in the day.
Oh yeah, it was. I forgot all about that. Yeah.
Yep,
that's when they were. That's when the ships come down. They come down to Earth, and they said we're all good, and we're going to cure all this. But these little slimy, long-legged things were crawling around, killing people, or trying to take over everything. Right?
Well, that's the people that were wearing human masks. They would look human, and they were taking people and freezing them for food.
That's right. All right, I was getting a movie. There was another movie that come out where they come down, and these little thing that had octopus hands that were all over, and they were taking over the Earth and everything. They had these rebels that got together, and they were going around killing them all around the United States. And
yes, I know that show. And
it was a series too, and I watched it.
It went for about 4 seasons, and I watched it. It never ended.
It did end. It ended at the Lincoln Memorial up at Washington, D.C.
Okay, because I watched up to a point, and then it ended. I thought it got cancelled. It had the guy from ER in it. The guy from ER was the main actor in it.
They ended up killing the last one, the leader or something, in the Washington Monument or the Lincoln Memorial,
right?
And it ended. Okay, there is supposed to be. Hang on. There is supposed to be a wrong calculations with the Egyptian mythologies, what would actually confirm everything. But Sanimation, you're right. You're exactly right. And
you've got to remember with Egyptians, they tended to, if they didn't like a certain pharaoh, they'd wipe him out of history by getting rid of the text of anything that happened to do with that person. So, like Nefertiti, we don't know much about her because they tried to get rid of her out of history, So,
well, the Egyptians believed in the god Ra and the sun god and all these other gods, and they said that they'd come down and they'd rule, and these gods were depicted as huge, and they would ride chariots across the sky. I mean, back then, what would you call something that flew if you never seen anything fly before but a bird, and this guy was riding in it? Well, it was like a vehicle, a chariot was.
Yeah.
Well, flying chariot.
That's right.
Because you couldn't say, "Oh, that's a UFO." What's a UFO? No, it's a flying chariot. And they did the same things in China. China, they turned around and they said
that was that Nefertiti's husband, Akhenaten. I can't say his name.
Ananaka? Oh, no.
He was the one that changed the gods from that to another one, didn't he? Too.
I don't know. See, that's something that I was going to look up to, and I was going to list out all the Egyptian gods and do an episode on that and tell them what all they did and how they were, were they done. That'll be another episode.
Maybe we need to get Sanimation on as a guest.
It's awful early in the morning for her. I'm surprised she's up. Bless her heart. Johnny Torch said that was V. So yeah.
They had Robert Englund in it. V did. Robert Englund was in there. Freddy Krueger, the original Freddy Krueger.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Egyptian symbolism is still used today for whatever it is they represent. Yeah.
Oh, do they? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's some stuff that's written on those walls and those tombs that I mean, that's some weird stuff. And they say that that the reason the Egyptians mummified themselves is because all they were doing was mimicking the gods when they landed in their spacecraft and they were in suspended animation and the things opened up and they came alive. So they mummified themselves thinking that they were going to rise again like the suspended animation chambers did for the aliens.
We've got Evan Geelong.
He was the doctor on V.
Yeah, Robert Englund was. Yeah.
Evan Geelong. Well, but yeah, it's some weird stuff the way they took and mimic stuff.
Yeah.
Mimic stuff. But like I said, all that is going to be coming up in these episodes. This is just the tip of the iceberg. We kind of broke the ice tonight and had some technical problems. I knew it was going to happen. I just knew it was going to happen. But that's part of the fun, showing what kind of amateur I am on here.
No, you've done well, man. I think so.
But I appreciate it, Kyle. But yeah, I mean, like I said, we're going to start this series. This series is going to go on as long as we have viewers and y'all like it, and we can get some more people to join in the chat and start bringing up their theories. So I thank you, Sanimation, for all the comments and everything. And Johnny, you need to get in touch with me if you feel like coming on a channel, because we like to do interviews.
There in the chat, you should. You've got quite a few out there ideas when it comes to aliens. So
Yeah, I actually thought for a while Evan was an alien.
Yeah, I did too.
He has some outlandish, theories that fit right in with everything too. It's just crazy. But I tell you what, I've got another show, and Robert, I want to remind everything. Shout out to Robert Galley. The Nerdy Collective is going to be on the Cantonese Comic Kids channel at 12:05. So go over there, not Robert's channel. Go over to Jeff's channel. That way you can get on there, and you won't miss out on any of your nerd out. You can nerd out over there. And I want to, Kyle, hey, I had a great time, bud.
Yeah, no, we had fun. I was a wee bit nervous, I'm going to be honest, but
yeah. Well, like I said, we'll get everything figured out to where it goes smoother, and the topics get more in depth and detailed, and my PowerPoints, maybe they'll get a little bit better.
There you go. Evan's already got his theories in the chat.
Planetarium tramforming hashtag
terraforming,
chemtrails.
Terraforming's like, think of Search for Spock.
Yeah.
That's terraforming.
Well, that's what we hope to do with Mars.
Yeah.
And that would be a good episode too. We'll talk about what they're finding on Mars and not telling us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Santa. An amazing show. I had to wake up early when you said last week you were going to talk about Enoch. Oh man, I tell you what, this is dedication. That girl get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to look at this ugly mug. I
know, I've got to be live with him. But no, thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, Animation. We appreciate that. Good. All right, Robert. But hey, we'll appreciate it. We appreciate it all. And I was supposed to call out my last show, Apex Comics. If you're watching out there, y'all need to go check them out. Apex Comics, and go check him out. He's a new guy that he's locally around where I live. And I got to chatting with him in the comic shop, and just go check out Apex, see what you think his channel, sub him up, APEX Comics. So that's I had a long chat with him in my LCS, and he's a cool guy. Mars, yes, that's a whole different 6-hour stream. Yes.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm cutting it short is because I've got to be on another show and everything, and I gotta go put makeup on. Because I got to have makeup on that show, apparently.
Yeah, so he'll probably change his hair. That's probably it.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, hey, what? Yeah. You've been blasting away everywhere. I've been seeing you everywhere. You've been like one of those squirrels collecting nuts all over the internet, appearing on everybody's show, getting ready for winter. So, where are you going to pop up next?
I don't know if anybody wants me. For someone who was trying to retire from YouTube, I'm not very good at it.
Well, yeah, well, that's one of the reasons I wanted you on here because
Yeah.
you know you was kind of burnt out there for a while, and you didn't have the interest in a while, and I knew that maybe I could spark that flame, that little bit of coal, and get that fire going again. And but you've been popping up everywhere. I mean,
because at one stage we were live twice a week, every week for a couple of years. So
yeah.
So
yeah, and this live, sometimes it went 8 hours at a time, live shows.
So
and people would pop in and out all night. I mean, and then YouTube would shut us down in like 8 hours, and we'd start another live show.
Yeah,
or we'd just hang out in the background for another 6 8 hours.
I'd go to work. There'd be and I'd come home and the show would still be going, and I'd hop on. I'd
go to work like this, like, golly, I can't go on that computer tonight. Forget that. Yeah. And I'd pop on. I'd stay 4 or 5 hours. Man, I got to go to bed. Forget this. And I was glad that got ended because I was either going to get fired or just not make it to work the next day.
Yeah, it was a lack of sleep on my end too. Yeah. The lost city of Atlantis was on Mars.
You know, I've heard that theory also.
Yeah.
That the Atlantis, and I've heard that the human race originally came from Mars and was implanted here on Earth a long time ago, and that was the first generation of people on Earth that got killed out and destroyed, and then the next generation came up from that. So. Yeah. Sanimation. Let me click on this. She oh no, I ain't back in top. That's early in the morning over there. Robert, the whole thing gives me your after show vibes when everyone left when we started talking about sightings. Oh yeah. Yeah. Jeff had a sighting, all right. You remember that Sanimation? He had a sighting, all right. I had to drag it out of him. But yeah. But hey guys, I appreciate y'all showing up. I love y'all to death, man. Y'all are really making this fun for me. I'm getting the views. Yeah. Hit them thumbs up. Go over and check out Kyle's channel. He's going to be doing some stuff. Because he was showing off some action figures here just the other day and everything. Some of the new action figures you got. And check that out on Kyle's channel because he's got some interesting videos too. And give him some thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to him. And like I said, I'm enjoying this. My mystery. What was it? Mystery Comic Thursday. Golly,
yeah.
Mystery Comic Thursdays is going good. Y'all enjoyed the rant. I'm going to have another rant next Thursday about what's going on.
I have to watch that on the rewind because it's while I'm working when you're live. I noticed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, the rant, if y'all want to go back and watch, it's going to be cancel culture or your comics next. And
I watched that. Yeah, I watched that the other day.
Yeah, and it gets real interesting, and maybe what'll happen to our comics if.
We were having a wee yarn about that earlier on too. So
yeah,
very interesting.
I just hope it don't come our direction. I sure would hate to not be able to get some comics but. Next week, I got a real good topic that's going to come up that we're going to talk on Spinner Rack Rants. So, well, guys, Kyle, I enjoyed it, and we are going to sign. What's that?
Hello, I'm just saying hello to Who Dat.
Oh, there's Who Dat. Nice to see you two on live. Hey, we're Who Dat. I appreciate you showing up, man. So, you can watch us on Rewind. Everybody that. Johnny Torch, have a good night, guys, and don't forget to set your clocks ahead in the USA. Yes, my time of the year. Love that. So, with everybody out there, I want to tell everybody, thanks for joining. We're out of here.
Ka kite anō. That means goodbye.
Oh, I was fixing to ask you what that meant. So, there we go. Hang on, I got to get it here. Yep.
Here we go.
Yeah, we're still live. We got to end the broadcast.